Welcome back, YouTube. So we're going to do our Rogue review of Showdown in the Badlands. Starting off, we have their very first legendary, Drilly the Kid, 4 mana, 4/3 mech, Battle Cry, Quick Draw, and Death Rattle Excavate Treasure. This is really big. Like the fact that you get 3 excavates off of this is actually really, really good. And I think Rogue is going to be the best class for this whole effect. And the fact that it's just this is a good card. It's a mech. You can discover multiple copies of it. You could attach the one mech that sums up a copy of it to this guy, and he'll have the death rattle effect again. Rogue's gonna have a really easy time excavating stuff, and a lot of their stuff is so good so far. Like I want to say this is a 5 out of 5 star card, but I don't know how good the rest of the stuff will be together with it, and whether or not it's gonna be slow or how all that stuff is. But I'm gonna take the big guess and say this is definitely gonna be a game changer card for Rogue when it comes to this whole feature that's coming, the excavate keyword. I want to say it's a 5 out of 5 card. Sorry, 5 out of 5 card. 5 out of 5 star card. It's also getting signature art. Signature art looks amazing for it. I hope I get it when I open up my packs. I think this card is pretty great. And I think this is going to see a pretty big impact. For 4 mana, it's not terrible. If you top deck on turn 4, you play it, you get 1. Also, it triggers twice if you do quick draw it too. And when you play it, you get 1. Like it does so much, and there's a lot of value into it. And it's just, a solid card. Now up next, Velrock Windblade. Now this is the diamond that you're getting from the reward track, or the reward track, the whole why am I spacing on it? The Tavern Pass, whatever it is, where you spend $20 for it. You do get this diamond from it, but we'll talk about it. It's 3 mana, 3/3. While it's in your hand, play 3 cards from another class, reveal Velrock's true form, and it's this one up here, the Deceiver. It has charge, which is actually pretty big. It goes face. After this attacks, discover a minion, or discover a card from another class, costs 3 less. Now the fact that it's a discovering effect and you get to pick it, it's pretty impactful. And it does have charge. You can bounce it back. You can do all that stuff to it and play it multiple times. It is a bit slow because you have to play 3 cards from another class, and sometimes Rogue does not see the cards that you want, or it doesn't see the whole doesn't see the cards where you discover stuff from your opponent's class, or you get that stuff, like Jackpot, for example. Like you might not get that right away, and so this card could kind of be a dead card. And on top of that, you have to have the card while it's in your hand and play the 3 cards. So like it is a very situational effect. But when you do get it, I don't know how impactful it will be when you play it. Like you're guaranteed at least 1 card, but you also have to save your Shadow Steps. You also have to save your Break Dances, all those other spells that bounce stuff back for this effect to go off. I think this might just be a pretty mediocre card in a sense. It also doesn't have, like, this does have a dragon text to it, but this personally doesn't have one. So there's not a way of discovering multiple copies of this guy, unless Astral Projectionist or whatever to get another copy of this guy here, because you're not going to want to play this to get that guy. But like all the stuff I'm thinking of is just too slow. But the fact it does have charge is kind of unique. And it's a discover effect too, which I think would be impactful. And that effect that does reduce stuff. So this card might see some play. I just think it's just a bit slow that it has to be in your hand while you play it. This could be anywhere, and you play 3 cards from a random thing and you draw it. It already has this effect happened. So you can play it right away and you don't have to wait. But outside of that, it's eh. So I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Up next is the Wishing Well. It's a 5 mana 0/7. After you play a coin, get a random legendary minion from another class in it. Set its cost to 1. This is interesting because coins only cost 0 mana, and if you rack up a bunch of coins and you play this on turn 5 and play like 5 coins, you get 5 legendary minions that cost 1, and you can play them all at the same time. It's kind of big, and I don't know how consistent this is going to be, but I feel like this is going to be like a really swingish type card where the moment you have coins saved up and you play this and you just spam the coins and you spam the legendary guys, it might just be game ending. But I don't know how consistent that's going to be, because this is going to have to live on that turn. I guess if you play this on turn 10 or like turn 6 and you play it and you already have 2 or 3 coins saved up, that's going to be pretty impactful. Now it is random legendary from another class, so it is limited to stuff like within the core classes are not neutral cards, so that does kind of make it very interesting. So you could get you have a higher chance of hitting like Crush, for example. So you could potentially get 5 crushes in a row. You never know, right? Now I honestly feel like this card is a bit better than Velrock is. I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5 still, just because I'm not really sure how it's gonna affect the meta and whether or not this card's gonna be actually good. But judging by that effect and the fact that coins cost 0 and they don't cost 1 mana to play them or whatever, and there's no other downside to playing a coin, this just seems very solid. 3 out of 5. Up next is Dart Throw. This is another card that kind of goes like with the Wishing Well, but it's 2-mana spell, epic. Throw two damage darts at random enemy minions. They both hit the same minion, get a coin. Now this card's interesting because if they have one card on the board, this deals 4 damage to that one card, and you get a coin, which ties into Wishing Well. I don't think this is a bad card. And it throws 2 stuff at 2 random stuff, or 2 random enemy minions. So there could be 2/2/2s on the board, and you just remove them. And even though you don't get the coin, it's still, moderate board of wipe, which isn't too bad. I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5. Antique Flinger, 4 mana, 5/4. Battlecry, if you've excavated twice, destroy an enemy minion. That's good. It's very easy. Just from Drilly the Kid alone, this excavates 3 times, or at least 2. And since you only have one card that does that and it destroys an enemy minion, that's really good. And it's only for 4 mana too, which is pretty insane. I'm gonna say this is a 4 out of 5 star card. Rogue's gonna have an easy time excavating stuff. It'd be nicer if this had a tag to it so you could find more copies of this, or even if it was a mech, that'd be pretty good. But so I think this is a lovely card for Rogue, and I think they're gonna really enjoy it. It's a very good control piece. It's gonna help tie together the Excavate Rogue type archetype. I think this is good. Up next is Bounty Wrangler. Quick draw or combo, get a coin. So I'm not sure how this works with, like, if you draw it and then is it guaranteed to get 2 coins? Quick draw or combo, get a coin. I think it's only limited to 1 coin, but play 2 of these, so this is guaranteed 2 coins for the Wishing Well. And it has a good stats line. Spider Tank stat line right there. 3 mana, 3/4. Rogue is going to play this card either way. It's not bad at all. Good stat line. It gives you a coin that plays in a Wishing Well. And I think the Wishing Well could fit into into any of the Rogue decks right now. And you should probably run 1 copy of this and play a bunch of this stuff that, gives you coins. And then when you have that bait 1 turn where you get it, you can just drop it down, swing turn. And that might be game changing enough. This is a solid card. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Up next is Shell Game. It's a 3 mana rare spell. Get a random epic, rare, and common card from other classes. Now, the reason why this card I think is going to be insane is because the fact that you can get stuff from, any other class that has the excavate type effects, like Mage, what are the other ones? Death Knight, even Warlock. I think Warlock has some pretty good excavate features in it, like Smokestack, Mogar Drill Fist. Those are all pretty solid, and I guess even like Badlands Brawler, start a brawl if you've excavated twice, this always wins. Like stuff like that, like getting those off of Shell Game will be really impactful for Rogue, and it's gonna be really good. I'm gonna say this is probably a 4 out of 5 star card, and the fact that there are a lot of other rares and epics and commons and stuff like that in classes. There's also a lot of good ones in classes that want to play those cards, and so the chances of you getting something that's going to benefit your play style, whether it's the excavating meta or even like going up against a deck that has mechs in it, and you play a mech rogue and you play Shell Game, probably want 1 copy of it, and it nets 3 cards for 3 mana. I don't think that's completely bad. Maybe giving it 4 out of 5 is probably a bit much, but I'll say it's 3 out of 5. It's definitely up there though. It might be a 3.5. I'm not really sure though, but it feels not too bad. Up next, 777, 7 mana spell, deal 7 damage to a minion, draw 7 cards. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, it's just only 7 damage to 1 minion. I guess it is a big removal. And you draw 7 cards on top of that. I don't know how consistent this is going to be. Like, I think Sprint's just a much better card because it's 5 for 5 cards or whatever, right? And if you shadow or prep it, it goes down to 3 mana, and this only goes down to 5. I guess you do draw 7 cards, but still, and also has deal 7. I just feel like it's too slow of a card. I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5 though, but it might see some play. If anything, it's just gonna be a 1 of in the deck. I think it's kind of overkill to play 2. Although the artwork is pretty cool. I love how the ogres are like concerned with what their cards are. But outside of that, I don't know how I really feel about the card. It just seems kind of meh. I don't think I'd personally play this in any of the rogue decks I'd be playing. It might just be a 1 of, like I said, where you just have that chance to draw 7 cards to kind of bounce back a bit. But Rogue has a lot of draw options. They have a lot of other options with discovering and just cycling through the deck pretty fast. I think this is just kind of a mediocre card in that sense. Up next is Bloodrock Co-Shovel with 1 mana, 1/3, Death Rattle, Excavate Treasure. It's not bad. It's a weapon. It would be kind of cool if this was like every time you swing Excavate or something, or if it was just a battle cry effect. But Death Rattle's not terrible. You can play on turn 1, turn 2 the weapon just so you can guarantee that the treasure. But also, you could just trade with it, go face and stuff like that. You just net something later in the past. It also allows you to kind of dictate when you get your legendary treasure too. You can hold it, play 3 of them, and then when you want that treasure at the right time, you play it, and bam, you get it. I think that's why this card's gonna be really good. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5 star. This doesn't seem bad at all, and I'll go quickly here to talk about the legendary here, the Azurite Scorpion, 4 mana, 5/5 Elemental Beast. Battle card, get 4 random spells if you excavate 8 times a game that costs 0. Rogue will not have a hard time excavating 8 times, and the fact that you could, dictate when you get that treasure, and you could have a big swing turn with 4 random spells is pretty cool. I don't think it's going to be too bad of a weapon. I think the stat line is kind of on it. It feels like a 2 mana 3/2 or something like that, like Fiery War Axe stats, or even like a 4 mana 3/3. I think wouldn't be terrible for it, but 1 mana 1/3 is not bad at all. Getting some turn 1, swing a couple times with it. You play other treasures, and then you break it on that final durability, and you get that legendary guy, and you play it when you want to. It's going to be pretty good. Up next is Stick Up. Discover a quick draw card from another class. Now, I don't think this triggers the quick draw effect, but I might be wrong. But if it doesn't, this card's pretty eh. The fact you do have to draw the card to get the quick draw effect, you don't really get it. So I don't know how it's going to work unless it does state otherwise. If you do get it, I guess I could double check on that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different quick draw cards here. I don't think it triggers the effect, but I might be wrong. But outside of that, I mean, discovering one's not bad. There's some other quick draw stuff, like the Farmhand's not bad, Rehydrate's not bad, Heat Wave's not a bad one to get. Even Malevolent Banker's not terrible, and even Dehydrate's not terrible. Trolley Problem's not bad. I don't think it's too bad of a card. I'll give it 2 out of 5. But that is a review here. I do think Drilly the Kid and the whole Excavate Rogue thing is going to be a really, really strong meta, or a strong archetype that's Rogue's gonna really like. Let me know down in the comments what you guys feel of everything, and what your opinions are. Also, Wishing Well is getting a signature as well, so that's gonna be a really cool cool card to see as well. But let me know what you guys think of it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.